Right now, authorities and loved ones are searching for a climate journalist, originally from Wisconsin, who disappeared during a solo hike across a Norwegian glacier. 38-year-old Alec Luhn left on a solo trek into Fagolfana National Park on July 31st. He was last heard from near Odda in southwestern Norway. This is the last photo that he sent to his wife before leaving for the hike. Joining us now is his friend and fellow journalist Haley Ott from CBS News. Haley, thank you for speaking with us today. How did you know Alec Luhn?
I knew Alec because I've crossed paths with him professionally. He's worked really closely with my husband over many years in Russia, where he used to be based. And then him and his wife relocated here to the UK, where I live, and we've gotten to hang out and be Americans living in a different country. And it's been great.
Oh, I'm so sorry that he hasn't been heard from. He was hiking July 31st. That was the last time he was heard from. We know that he is an avid hiker, and his family wasn't maybe expecting to even have cell service to contact him, but he didn't come home last night on a flight. So what is happening right now to try to find Alec?
So, what we know at this point is that there are volunteers, the Red Cross, the authorities have all been sort of called and are engaged to try to find Alec. The weather isn't good where he was hiking. So, they wanted to mobilize helicopters and drones, but there's been some difficulty in doing that. They are out. I've heard around 16 volunteers are out looking for him now, though, and doing their best to try to find him.
His family is there now too. He was visiting the area because his sister had just moved there, right?
Yeah, he had just been on a visit. Him and his wife had gone out to see his sister along with the rest of his family from the States. And his wife had actually come back to the UK a bit earlier because she had a work event and had said to Alec, okay, you're going to go on this hike. Please keep me posted about where you're going. Send me your location. And he said, sure. And he sent, the picture that he was leaving and that everything was great. And then he sort of went off grid, and that means his location sharing on his phone as well went off, and that didn't really raise any alarms because he's out in the middle of the wilderness. So the fact that there isn't good cell phone service didn't concern anyone. And Alec is a really good outdoorsman. He knows what he's doing out in nature, but everybody got very concerned when he didn't show up for his flight, didn't really check in ahead of his flight. So it raised the alarm, and they contacted the authorities.
Right now, we're speaking with you because his family really wants to spread the word in hopes that anyone hiking that same route could share any information with local authorities. Anything that you can have people, I guess, know about this hike, or if they have any information, how do they get in touch?
So, as far as I'm aware from talking to Alec's wife, he didn't have a planned out route exactly. So there were a couple of, I mean, for lack of a better word, huts that are out there in the wilderness for hikers to go stay in. And he had listed a couple of them that he might be going and he might be spending the night in, but there wasn't a clear route. So rescuers have a much wider area to look for him than they would if they really had a narrow down trail. But the hope is that there are some people who are hiking out in the area, maybe staying in some of these huts, who might have seen Alec. They can see the photo that was shared on cbsnews.com and here. And if they can get in touch with the Red Cross or authorities in Norway, or the contact details for his wife are available as well. Anything to help in the search, to help narrow down that location so that it's easier for the rescuers to try to find Alec.
Yes, that anything will help. Let's talk a little bit more about Alec. He's an award-winning climate journalist. He's an avid hiker, and he has covered climate and the environment for years. This is nothing new for Alec, right?
Yeah, he's a great journalist. It's wonderful talking to him about the stories he's doing because they're so interesting, and he really goes on adventures out in the wild, which is hard for the average person to get to. And Alec has this really great skill of taking science that's so important and interesting and being able to put it out in a package that's accessible for people, and that really brings them along on that journey, and that communicates sort of the wonder of nature. Um, Speaking to his wife earlier, she was saying just how in love with the Arctic, with the cold, with glaciers Alec is, and he takes any opportunity to go out, whether working or not. And this was one of those times he was up by this beautiful glacier and he just didn't want to miss the opportunity to be able to go see it. That sort of love of nature is really communicated in his work, and it's why he's done so well at it.
Has his wife said anything else about what might help find Alec or him in general?
Um, Alec is a very loved person. There's he has a family, but he also has a big community of people here in the UK and around the world of journalists and of people that he's crossed paths with on all of his amazing trips that all want to see him found. Really, at this point, it's about getting the word out so that anybody who might have been in that area and seen him could share any information about him, just to help those rescuers who are already facing that tricky weather, narrow down where he could have been as much as possible and help them in their search.
And having also covered climate and the environment and being a friend and colleague to Alec, how are you feeling right now?
Um, I feel for his family, and I'm very hopeful that Alec's okay. My hope is that he's twisted his ankle somewhere and his phone died. I have great faith in his ability in the wilderness. So our hope is that rescuers go out and they find him, and this is something that a story that he can tell down the line.
Absolutely. Well, Haley, thank you so much. Anything else you wanted to add this morning?
No, just thanks to everybody for their attention and their care, and hopefully we can track him down.
Absolutely. We'll have more information on how you can do that on our website, WCCO.com. Haley, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate your time.